I was the mistress and the guy's wife found out. This is how we listen and we don't judge moment, because I was 61 backwards. I was the victim here. There was this guy from my block that I always found cute. He was like the stereotypical cute guy for everybody. All my cousins, all my friends, like, found him cute. Like, he was the pretty boy of the block. My cousin started dating this guy from another street in our block. So when she started dating him, I would go more often to that street because she was there, and I would always see the guy. Let's call him Cheaty, because he's a cheetah ass. One day I'm walking with my cousin to my other cousin's man's house, and while I'm walking, I see a group of boys, and in that group, Cheaty is there. I don't talk to them because, again, like, I've only seen him from a distance. I've never, like, really, like, stopped to talk to him. I barely even knew his name. Hours pass and I then get home. When I get home, I get a message on Snapchat talking about, hey, ma. My intuition never fails because something in me told me, like, could this be Cheaty? Nah, I'm crazy. I replied and I was like, who's this? And he was like, you look beautiful today. And I was like, but who's this? And he said, you didn't see me? And I was like, but who is this? He sent me a picture of, like, his eye. And I was like, I know who it is. Right when he sends me that, I tell my cousin, like, oh my God, look, this guy just hit me up. Because he was, like, the town cutie. So it was like, he hit you up? My cousin then told me, like, I think he's dating somebody. Like, I think he has a girlfriend. And I was like, oh, word? So then I said, don't you got a girlfriend? And he said, nah, we broke up. So I was like, cha-ching! Or so I thought. Few days pass and I go to my cousin's man's house because that's where we will all chill. And he will be there too, and he'll give me like the little side eye, yada yada. And then a couple days pass, babe. And he said, I got back together with my girlfriend. So then I told him, like, okay, we're not gonna continue this. Like, we're not gonna continue talking. The heck? I'm not about to be your side piece. Couple days pass and I'm in class and I get a message from him on some, what are you doing, yada yada. Me and him get to talking, but it wasn't nothing too crazy until I go out clubbing one day, and in that club, who do I find? I found Cheaty, and my drunk ass was on some, come here, baby. And he was on that type of timing too. So I was like, mind you, this guy was an older guy. So in my head, I'm like, oh my God, I'm winning out here because I'm a little 61-year-old backwards and he's a little something older. I completely just started to disregard that he had a girlfriend. Because that night he was acting like he didn't have a girlfriend. So it was like, again, I've changed my ways. I would never do this again. After the club, we leave together and we go to his friend's house, you know, to get to know each other a little more. And he tells me, like, if we're going to do this, I hope you know it's just lust. It's not love. From what he thought, baby. Because he thought he was going to be the one not to fall in love. Wait till you guys see how this ends. I then went on Google and I was like, what the heck does lust versus love mean? Because what do you mean? And I found out and I was like, oh, so he thinks I'm a hoe. We get to talking and we get to do the freaking leaky stuff because we just started like that. Like, it's just gonna be like a little friends with benefits. We're not gonna do nothing crazy. We didn't go on dates or none of that until I fell in love. So he would tell me things and I'll get like a little butthurt, and he noticed that. And he would tell me, like, remember I told you, like, I have a girlfriend. I started to distance myself a little bit because I was like, I'm not about to deal with this. When I distanced myself, I guess he noticed. So then he started to hit me up more. So he was like, can you please, like, chill with me? We're not gonna do nothing. Like, I just deadass just like want to chill with you and talk to you because you a vibe. We met up and we did just that. Like, he started putting me onto his music. I showed him the music I like. We didn't even kiss. We didn't none of that. We literally were just chilling. And I was just like in my head, like, oh my God, he's so in love with me. He's so in love with me now. Months passed, maybe like even a year passed of this like ongoing situation thing. So my cousins and I, we all go out to this place, and Cheaty comes to that place with us. Cheaty was all on top of me in that place. And I'm just thinking, like, oh my God, do his friends know? Because his friends were there too. Because he was all over the place with me. Like, he was, like, me and him was besties that day. And guess what? I just fell more in love. Me and him then talked that night, and he told me, he's like, you know what's crazy? Today made me realize, like, if my girl was ever acting the way I was acting with you tonight, I would probably pew her. And I was like, oh, he was like, yeah, because, like, it's not even giving lust anymore. We're literally giving like a full-blown relationship. And that's where I draw the line. And I was like, all right, baby, that's where you draw, that's where I draw the line. Like, who is you? Who is you? So we stopped talking for a bit. And then comes a day that I am in college, dorming. He hits me up and he's like, yo, I really gotta see you. I really gotta see you. Like, I wanna hang out with you. He comes to my dorm. We hang out and everything. While we're hanging out in my dorm room, we start doing more than hanging out, you know? We start getting it going. As we're getting it going, me literally in the front, him ass out in the back. Like, the door of my dorm room was over there and his butt was facing, like, the dorm. Right there while he's my roommate walks in. Stay tuned for the whole story time because this video is not gonna fit on just one TikTok video. Because his girl gets involved, she finds out everything. We have a whole pregnancy scare. Like, it's a whole thing.
When I was in 7th grade, I wasn't allowed to have a phone. So I would play on my mom's old iPhone 6 because she had switched over to a Samsung and they just didn't turn the phone in. I think eventually the phone was going to be mine. So they would let me play games on it, you know, after school, all that jazz. Around that time in 7th grade is when Snapchat, Instagram, all that jazz was poppin'. You feel me? So me being the crazy kid that I was, I decided to sneak Snapchat and Instagram on my mom's old phone that I would play freaking Subway Surfers on. So what I would do is before school and after school, I would download Instagram and Snapchat and like respond to everyone's messages, like, you know, check my likes, check everything. And then I would delete it like before I went to bed or like before I went to school. Well, one day my mom comes into my room before school because, mind you, I was fucking crazy. I would get up like an hour earlier before I had to get up for school just so I could log into Snapchat. Like what the fuck? To what? Send a GM streak? Yeah, well, one morning my mom comes into my room and like she snatches the phone from my hand and she's like, what are you doing? Go to school. Like, because I guess I was like about to go to the bus stop and I wasn't like coming out of my room because I was literally on fucking Snapchat while my mom didn't know. So obviously I'm like shaking up. I go to school and I'm like, I'm freaking out all day, but I hid Snapchat and Instagram like in this little game folder that I had all the way in the back. So I was hoping like, you know, nothing crazy would happen and that she just would, you know, put the phone away and go about her day. That is when I was very wrong. So I'm about like halfway through my school day and I open up my fucking Chromebook to my Gmail and guess what I see? Guess what I see? I see an email from my fucking stepdad. I open up the email and it literally says, like, it's so straightforward. Found Instagram and Snapchat on your mom's old phone. Deleted and deactivated all accounts. And there's like screenshots of all my fucking messages with all my friends. And around that time is when everyone would save every single fucking chat. Like, you would click on it and save it, like, in Snapchat. So I was basically fucked. So I'm literally, like, I go pale. Like, all my friends are like, oh my god, Ina's gonna fucking die when she gets home. Because they knew the type of parents that my parents were. Like, so obviously, like, I don't respond to the email and I don't even want to go home. Like, I'm freaking out the whole fucking day. The craziest part is I had texted one of my closest best friends and we were literally like mimicking someone, and one of the chats that was saved was me texting her and saying, guess who I am, and then like in quotes I put, hey, my name is blah 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 and I like to suck. Bro, I was in 7th grade. What the fuck was I doing? Why was I acting grown? Like, why was I acting grown in 7th grade? Yeah, and then I get home, like, off the bus, and then I waited 30 minutes outside my house because I was so scared to go inside and get my ass fucking whooped. Well, I went inside and, you know, shit hit the fan, and then, you know, that's who made me who I am today. Like and follow if you want more crazy lore stories.
You guys are never gonna believe this story when I tell you. My friend Annie sent me a video of her opening a Sephora package that she got sent to her old apartment that she did not order. She only knew the package was there because her old neighbor texted her and said, hey, you have a Sephora package. So she walked over to her old apartment and picked it up. She brings it home, she opens it. It's 2 items, a travel-sized YSL spray perfume and some kind of face something. After she opens it, she realizes that there's a phone number on the return label. So she types the phone number into her phone and doesn't have the number, but she notices that it's an Akron, Ohio area code, which is where me and our two other best friends are from. She's from Pennsylvania, but she reaches out to us and she goes, "Do you guys have this number in your phone? Someone sent me a Sephora package and I have no idea who it is." So I type the number into my phone and who is it? It's my mom. And no, I didn't have my mom's phone number memorized, sue me. But if you know me, you know my mom has been for 4 years. And not only that, I don't even think that woman ever walked into a Sephora. We've always been drugstore girlies. So I immediately FaceTime her and say, that's my mom's phone number. I'm very confused. And I ask her, I'm like, when was it sent? Maybe I sent something to her in August for her birthday and I forgot that I did it and it's been sitting there for a while. No, it was sent on October 8th. It got to the apartment on October 8th. Oh, and not to mention, this is in Brooklyn, New York. I was like looking through my past orders, thinking maybe I ordered something and sent it to her. And for some reason, my mom's number was linked to my Sephora, but no, nothing in my inbox. So she calls the number and it's some guy that picks up. So clearly no one ordering anything from Sephora and certainly not to Annie M in Brooklyn. Then I text my aunt and tell her this. And she's like, that's really weird because again, like your mom did not shop at Sephora. And I was like, tell me about it. That's really weird. And so now we are sitting here with a package that was addressed to one of my best friends in Brooklyn, New York, and has my mom, my unalived mother's phone number attached to it. So what do I do? Should I like even try and reach out to Sephora? I'm just out of every phone number, how does my mom's end up on my best friend's package in Brooklyn? Last year I did go into my mom's Instagram account and send DMs to all my friends saying boo as a joke. So I think that they thought it was me doing it. I mean, this would be diabolical if I even thought about that, but it's pretty clever. But I swear to God, it wasn't me. And now I don't know what to do. But isn't that crazy? Like, should I go buy a lottery ticket or something? What's she trying to tell me? Maybe she's trying to tell me to up my makeup game.
Part 3 of when I caught my boyfriend cheating on me in the bedroom right next to our bedroom. So I'm in an Uber on my way to my then boyfriend with his mistress. Yeah, I'm in the car with his mistress. While we're there exchanging stories, I see that the Uber driver is like side-eyeing us. And then he turns and says like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be intrusive, but who are y'all talking about? And I'm like, baby, we're talking about the mistress, which is this girl, and the wife, which is me. And he stopped the car. He was like, wait a minute. So everything you guys are talking about is things that actually happened to both of you guys? And I'm like, yeah, we're on our way to confront my man right now. That's why I ordered an Uber that far. And he was like, oh, this is getting good. But take my number down in case you ever need another Uber. And you know what? I like y'all vibe. I'm gonna take you back home for free. I'm not gonna charge you money because regardless, I have to go back to our location. So we get to Chuchi's mom's Providence. I get out of the Uber and the Uber waits for me outside. Chuchi's isn't there, but his mom is. She's like, what you doing here? And I'm like, I'm looking for Chuchi's. Where is he? She's like, he's like by the backyard, like by the kid's bedroom. Babes, I go in there. I'm like, hi, Chuchi's. Remember you told me that you swore on your family's life that you didn't cheat on me with Lucy? Well, look at this. Lucy right there came out and his face turned pale. Right there when I saw his face turn pale, I punched him to give him some color in that face. Because what you mean you swore on your families? Look at your girl. Look at your girl right here. So then I'm like, so you still gonna deny it? And he was just like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And he's just looking at Lucy like this. And Lucy literally looks like she's about to start crying. I see that Chuchi's mom drags Lucy and takes her outside. And then his other sister comes, his half-sister from his mom's side, and she's like, no, Liz, relax. I know you're mad, but like, relax. So then I sit down, they give me water, and then right there comes in Chuchi's mom and says, I sent her back home. She's gone. You guys could talk about it now. And I'm like, what you mean you sent her back home? She was like, yeah, I put her in the Uber that you came and I told him to leave. And I was like, no. So then I ran outside. I'm like, yo, he left. And she was like, yeah, what were you expecting? I was like, I was supposed to go back. I only came to confront your cheating ass son. She was like, girl, all men cheat. So it's like, don't let her win. Don't let her think she got one up on you. And I told her, like, this is the problem with y'all Dominican women. You guys think it's perfectly normal to get cheated on. Because you guys look at it, it's like, I'm not going to let the other girl win. Like, yes, babe, let her win. At the end of the day, what is she really winning? So I cooled down a little bit. And I sit down with Chuchi's and I told him to explain everything to me. He obviously lied his ass out. So I was like, babes, get out out of my face. I don't want to talk to you no more. So he goes and crosses the street and he starts playing like dominoes, like with his friends or whatever. My dramatic ass lays on top of a car that's like in the garage of his mom's house. I look up and I put the song Vete by Bad Bunny. While I was listening to every word, I was hysterically crying. Like, just imagine this girl laid down in a car looking up, singing Vete. His sister, the half-sister, not the one from the part one, she approaches me and she starts talking to me. She wasn't raised with Chuchis or with her mom. She recently just moved to Dominican Republic, like what, 2 years before them? So she always like felt like she didn't belong with them. So she was telling me that and I was just like, oh, like, I'm so sorry. And she was like, yeah, like, I feel like I have a closer relationship to you than my actual siblings because I feel like they don't love me or they don't like me. I'm only telling you that detail that she told me because it's gonna be relevant with what happens next. So I hit up the Uber driver and I'm like, I'm so sorry. That was so embarrassing. Like, I was supposed to leave with you, but these people, like, did me dirty and, like, made me stay stuck here. And he was like, nah, you're all good. You're all good. Like, at least you have my number. But, bro, Lucy, she in love with him. And I'm like, what? What you mean she in love with him? He was like, the whole Uber ride, she was crying hysterically. So then the next day comes and I get a DM from Lucy talking about like, so what has happened? And I said, I'm still here. She replies like, oh, so you really gonna stay with that dirty ass? Like, you really gonna stay with him? Like, I thought you were better than this. And I was like, it's not clocking to you? First of all, don't try to get into my relationship because you already did it once and right now is not the time to be giving your 2 cents in it. So when I said that, she was like, well, I'd be mad too if my man was eating another girl. And I was like, let me remind you that you're the dirty girl here. Out here effing and seffing everybody in the hood. I manipulated you to admit everything to me. Like, girl, back up. Why would you think we'll ever be friends? So she was like, nah, you're mad fake. And I blocked her right there because, girl, you got me effed up. So then I got so pissed and I also hit up Chuchi's sister, the one that was friends with Lucy. I violated her because I felt so played by her. Watch part 1 so you can understand why I felt played. I literally told this girl, like, it's so obvious that you didn't even finish the freaking 8th grade because, girl, you is dumb. You can't even say a whole phrase. Why would I even think you even knew what loyalty meant? And I blocked her right there too. So that night, one of Chuchi's best friends comes over. He sits down with me and he tells me, this is serious, but Chuchi's have a sex addiction. So then I walk away from that weird ass conversation and I sit down with his sister. I tell her what Chuchi's other sister did. And she was just like, you see me, I'm not like that. I hold loyalty towards you because you showed me more loyalty than my own siblings. You showed me so much loyalty that I have to tell you something. So she shows me her phone and says, I wasn't aware of this. I just went into my WhatsApp, but look at this. I'm reading it. And the profile picture in the WhatsApp messages is Lucy. And I'm like, you talking to Lucy? She hit you up? And she was like, that wasn't me talking to her. She said, yeah, Chuchi is still talking to her. He's using my phone to talk to her. So I started reading the messages. He's been texting her, telling her that he misses her and that he can't wait till all of this is over. Stay tuned for the next part because it gets real violent after that.
The most bizarre thing happened to me last night. Yesterday I was getting off the bus, and when I got off at my stop, a larger, older man got off as well. And when I get off, I'm on the street and I'm walking to where I'm going, and I hear him behind me and he says, excuse me, I don't mean any harm. And I was like, ooh, really? And most people would have booked it after that line, but I was like, let me hear him out. Why? He opens with a really alarming sentence, but again, I am naive and bored because I don't know why I even entertained this, but he said, I just got out of prison and I have $12,000 in cash in my backpack. Would you do me a favor? And I was like, yes, I would love to. Honestly, at this point in my mind, I don't know why I was still here. I was kind of sticking with the story. And honestly, he seemed kind of harmless. I was like, okay, what's up? Like, let's hear about it. This is going to be a great story. Just don't point a gun at me and then I can tell the internet, but go ahead. He goes, I just got released and I'm looking to get a massage. And I was like, okay. He was like, full body massage. And I was like, well, I'm not working tonight, okay? I'm not clocking in. I'm off duty. I'm not in the mood. I was like, oh, okay, that sounds fun. Enjoy. And he's like, could you help me? I don't have a cell phone. And I was like, you know what? This is going to be funny one day, not today, but soon it will be. So I then take out my cell phone. So when I take out my cell phone, he's like, you know what massage I'm looking for? Like full body. And I'm like, okay, scalp and toes? Like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not getting massages like that, honestly. And I was like, oh, like a happy ending? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. So now I am Googling happy ending massages NYC. my FBI agent tapping into my phone is probably deeply concerned where my brain is going tonight, but I do it because I'm like, absolutely, I would love to help you. This sounds like you really need it. Again, it's maybe around 11 p.m. at night in the middle of New York City. He has a backpack on, I'm assuming with the cash, and he goes, if you can find me a place to go, I will give you $100. And I'm like, ooh, now it's a Candy Crush. Okay, now it's like a game. I was like, okay, I'm gonna win Flappy Bird. I will find you a place so I can get my cash prize. Absolutely. So I'm typing in all these places. Again, Google isn't gonna say they give the best rub and tug here. Like, I would hope not. So I kind of was like scrolling for a bit, and then he starts scrolling, and I'm like, okay, what's happening? We're still standing there, and then he goes, do you know who I am? And I was like, no, please enlighten me, take the floor. And he was like, my name is Mandingo. Do you know Mandingo? And I'm like, no, is that a family name? What is that? Sounds Irish. I've never heard of that word or name in my entire life. And he's like, what's your name? And I'm like, now I'm kind of like maybe a little sus. After 40 minutes of literally sitting on a bus stop with this guy, I was like, maybe this isn't a good idea. So I was trying to give a different name, but I couldn't in the moment. So I was like, I'm Danielle. And he's like, okay. I just really popped in the A to a E, and I was like, Danielle's gonna keep me protected. After he formally introduces himself, he's like, look me up. And I'm like, okay, like, now am I with the celebrity? And I was like, okay, which I look up. And he's like, type in Mandingo Unleashed. And I was like, okay, so I typed that in. And now, listen, when I'm telling people the story now, they're like, how did you not know what that search was gonna be? I was thinking he just got out of prison. He is unleashed from the shackles. He wanted to see if there was a news article about him before he went home to his mom and pop and wife. You know, like that's where my mind completely went. And I look up Mandingo Unleashed, and it wasn't something that would be safe for work. He starts scrolling on my phone, and at first it's like an IMDb, and I'm like, oh my God, is this guy like a movie star? And then he's like, no, go to the third one. He's a corn star. And I was like, oh. And then he makes me click on the video. It is a large private part. And he points to it and goes, that's me. And I was like, absolutely. On this note, I have to go. I need to leave. And he was like, come on, Danielle, like, help me get a massage. Where should I go? And I was like, Mandingo, I don't know. I feel like we got too close too fast, okay? Like, we need to take our relationship a little slowly, because me and my friends, we don't immediately watch Corn together. We're not doing that just yet.
I think it's finally time for a little story time about why I dropped my best friend. Just to let you guys know, me and this girl were friends for like 5 to 6 years. Last year, my sophomore year in college, something traumatic happened to me and affected my entire life. I was being affected emotionally and mentally. I reached out to her to tell her what I was going through. I opened up to her and no one else. Me and her are both in college. We go to different colleges, but we live in the same hometown. So whenever we were home, I messaged her to try and hang out. But obviously there were times where we couldn't because we were just both so busy. Well, when I opened up to her about what was going on, I asked her if I could see her. I told her I wanted to go to the house. She told me that she was out of town and that when she gets back, maybe we could do something. She told me she was out of town. Why the fuck would I go out of my way to message her, hey, are you back? Like, when are we hanging out? No, I told her this is happening in my life. This is how I'm feeling. I want to see you. And her response was, I want to see you too. I'm out of town. So I sat back and waited for her to text me when she came back in town. I was constantly checking her Snapchat location, watching her private stories, and every single day for like 2 to 3 months, she was hanging out with her boyfriend every single day. Every day. Always with her boyfriend, which, like, I get it. Some girls want to be glued to their boyfriends. Trust me, me too. But I also like to make time for my friends, especially my best friend. Well, anyways, once I saw that she was hanging out with him every day, not reaching out, to me, it felt like she didn't care. So what did I naturally do? Stop talking to her. I stopped reaching out. Once I stopped reaching out, guess what? I never heard from her. Ever again. Ever. Fast forward, months later, I made a TikTok about it. Not about the situation, but I posted a TikTok with a picture of myself saying, we don't hang out anymore, we never see each other, and swipe. And it's like, which is weird because swipe And then it was a picture of me and her. She was my best friend. I loved her so much. I would do anything for her. That was the TikTok. After I posted that, boom, shakalaka, she decided to fucking text me. She texted me this whole paragraph saying like, hey, I don't know if you're consumed by all the attention you're getting, but like, I'm just confused on what that post is about. Like, you ghosted me, like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm sitting here like, am I fucking delusional? Am I delusional? I'm sitting there, I'm with my boyfriend, we're eating, hello, date night. I text her back and I'm like, I don't really think you were there for me. When I needed you the most, you weren't there. I had other people who weren't my best friend doing things I thought you would do as my best friend. And she was like, oh, well, that's a little bit awkward considering you left me undelivered on Snapchat. And I was like, girl, I unadded you. You didn't notice that I unadded you? Hello? You didn't talk to me for 2 to 3 months? Good morning? I'm going back and forth with her and I'm like, I don't think you were there for me. I don't want to be in this friendship anymore. She goes on to tell me, well, I'm sorry. ... I'm sorry that you got sucked into your own world and forgot about reality and the fact that I have a life outside of yours. Oh, bitch got me fucked up. When I read that, I was like, oh, okay, good morning, I'm up, let's get it. I'm like sitting there with my boyfriend. I'm not gonna lie, like, when I get mad, I cry. I was like, because no fucking way you just said that to me. Like, no shit. You have a life. I've seen you live it every day with your fucking boyfriend. Anyways, that kind of caught me off guard, and her attitude completely changed in the text messages. She was like, oh, I'm glad I dodged a bullet. I hope you can find other friends at your disposal. Oh, girl, okay. Good morning? Good morning. She was like the only friend that I had. The fuck do you mean get friends at my disposal? You were my best friend, ho, and you weren't being a best friend. The fact that she says she dodged a bullet, bitch, I dodged a bullet. You're missing out. I was there for you. I loved you. I would do anything for you. That's how I lost and fell out with my best friend. I blocked her on everything. TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, text message, goodbye. I'm not gonna lie, like every now and then, like I'll think about her and then I have to slap myself back into reality and be like, bitch, stand the fuck up. She was not your friend. She was, and then she chose her boyfriend over you and just didn't give a fuck. I need to stop relying on friends to do things that I feel like friends should do. Like, I was going through it. Like, I'm not even being dramatic. Something happened in my life. It's still happening. Still get emotionally and mentally, what's the word, like, unstable? Maybe not unstable, but like, you know what I'm saying? I want to end this video saying that I don't hate my ex-best friend. I mean, yeah, obviously here and there I miss her. She was a really, really important person in my life, but I'm glad that I have friends who support me, love me, are always there for me. They keep me stable for real.
What is the most desperate thing you've ever done for somebody? I want you to think about it, get that image in your head, and then multiply it by 1,000. And that's the story I'm about to tell you about myself. If your thing is something cute, like I used to sleep with my phone on loud, so if he texted me after the bar, I could wake up and put makeup on and blah, blah. Yeah, I used to do that too. If you were to do a shot every time I do something pathetic in the upcoming story, you'll be blackout drunk on the floor. You'll need an IV. You have alcohol poisoning. One summer I'm backpacking across Alberta, and I know that my ex-boyfriend is somewhere in Alberta at the time. Like, text him. I'm like, oh, hey, like I'm in Alberta. Are you here? He's like, no, actually I'm in Vancouver for the next 2 days, and then I come back to Alberta. And I'm like, fuck, because I'm supposed to go to Vancouver in 2 days, meaning we're gonna miss each other. We're gonna miss each other for the rendezvous he doesn't know I've planned. I wonder why he doesn't know that. Oh, because he dumped me for another girl who he was currently dating at the time. Anyway, up the airline, I'm like, okay, I gotta switch my flight to a day earlier now. It cost me $150 in a change fee, plus whatever the difference is in the flights, plus I'm losing the 2 nights of hotels I have in Lake Louise, plus I have nowhere to stay in Vancouver. The only smart thing I do is I say, you know what, I'm gonna go look around Lake Louise before I decide to leave the day I got here. So I don't do anything. I go to Lake Louise, turns out you can walk around it in 1 day, and I actually didn't need 3 days there, which is, I'm not playing devil's advocate. This was still a pathetic story. So I go into the hotel next to the lake and I'm like drinking and getting fucked up, and there's a guy next to me and we start talking. He's got to be like 75 years old. He's a pilot, blah, 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 blah. He's flying to Vancouver tomorrow. And I'm like, God, is that you offering me a free flight to Vancouver, even though I will still lose the money I've already paid for the existing flight? Also, I will lose the money I paid for the hotels, but a win is a win. Yo, can I come with you? He's like, yeah, all you got to do is get to the Calgary airport tomorrow morning at 8:30. I'm like, no problem. Get back to my hotel, wasted, book a shuttle from my hotel to the Calgary airport the next morning for 6 a.m. I wake up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, get outside my hotel, Bus isn't there. Looking at my confirmation, it says the Lake Louise Inn. I'm like, yeah, I'm at the Lake Louise Inn, but I see there's another stop called the Lake Louise Shack or something. I'm like, maybe the bus driver got confused and went to the other hotel. I fucking climb a mountain. I swear. It was like, okay, it was a big hill. I get to the top. I'm sweating. The bus isn't there either. So now I start crying. I'm calling the fucking hotline. They don't open till 7 o'clock, but it's only 6:45. I'm like, what do you do if there's a customer service emergency before 7 o'clock? Anyway, at 7:01, they pick up the phone. I'm sobbing. I'm like, I'm gonna miss my flight because of you fuckers. I know. I checked my confirmation. It is all correct. The woman did not give a shit. She goes, please hold. I'm holding. She gets back on the phone. She goes, we're sending a driver. They send me a toothless man who does not believe in seatbelts. He's driving a minivan, but he did bring me a coffee. I have a picture. Here's the picture I sent to my mom. This guy starts gunning it. We get to the fucking airport before the bus that was supposed to pick me up an hour ago did. Why? Because this man's a psycho and I risked my life. But I'm not done risking it because I'm about to get on a plane the size of my big toe with this 75-year-old man, his wife, and his golden retriever. Asks me if I want to hold the controls. Sir, no. I'm afraid of flying. I'm only on this plane because I'm more desperate than I am afraid of death. We land, I don't even know. I want to say a field. It was didn't look like an airport. Then I take a bus, a cab, and the SkyTrain to my friend's sister's couch, where I then call my ex-boyfriend and go, oh my God, I was wrong about my flight. I'm here just to see a man who cheated on me. Can you top that?
Part 3 on how I got pregnant with a guy after only knowing him for 2 months. Chuchi's calls and says that Hunk has HIV. My heart was right here, babes. My heart went down to my freaking ass. So I literally tell him like, what do you mean, bro? You're a freaking liar. And he's like, my sister told me that Hunk's ex told her that he has that. Because Hunk's ex was Chuchi's sister's best friend. So in my head, I'm like, oh my God, that's a credible source. That's a credible source. He must be saying the truth. So I start crying in the bathroom because what do you mean? I'm so in love. Like I have like 4 days knowing this guy, but I'm so in love. I hang up the phone and I go back to my table. Bro, I couldn't finish eating. I was just looking at his face like, is this true? Is this true? I didn't want to tell Hunk anything at that moment because I thought like, oh my God, how is Hunk gonna react if I'm out here getting up from my date to pick up a phone call from Chuchi's? Because Hunk knew Chuchi's too. After a couple minutes, I end up saying like, oh my God, I don't feel so well. Can we please go home? The next day comes and I'm literally in my bed like, how am I gonna tell Hunk anything? Like, what's going on? I'm so in love and like, what if he really has this? After hours of me having conversations with my brain, I decide to hit up Hunk on someone told me you have HIV, bro. He starts, ha ha, kiki. On what you mean? Who's out here saying that? When he ha ha kiki, I was like, ha ha kiki too. Oh, ha ha. So funny, because to me, I'm like, oh my God, if he's laughing, then it really means he doesn't have it. Like, I tell him that Chuchi's told me that his ex told Chuchi's sister. So Hunk said, oh, word? Say less, baby. I'm gonna go get tested right now. Little did I know what Hunk ended up doing after he got that information. Hunk even says, matter of fact, you want to go with me to go get tested? And I was like, no, it's not necessary. It's not necessary. The only reason I said no was because my dad was home and my dad didn't know I was dating Hunk because my dad was super strict. My dad was those type of men that he'll walk in the room and people will forget how to breathe around him. But you know, I wanted Hunk to think like, my parents don't care. I'm a cool girl, whatever. So I just said, no, I'm good. I have to go somewhere with my friend. He goes, gets tested, and sends me a picture on I'm clean. The next day comes about, and I tell Chuchi's to come over to my house and explain to me how did he even get this lying-ass information. While he's in my house, this man tells me, like, I know you guys did it already. And I'm like, what? Then he says, like, all I was trying to do was protect you. He then tries to kiss me and tries to, like, get, crazy with me. And I'm like, whoa, baby chulo. I thought you said you thought Hunk had HIV. How you trying to get in my drawers if you think that I messed around with him? And he was like, baby, if you have it, then you'll probably give it to me. And then that means we have to be together for the rest of our lives. I was like, what? Baby, that's not how it works. Matter of fact, let me see the message. Let me see the message of your sister telling you that he got HIV. And he's like, yeah, what's up? Look at them right here. I'm looking at the message and I'm like, oh, wow, that's so crazy. You don't have no previous message with your sister. That's the only message she sent you. Me knowing that they talk every day. Then I open my phone up and I look for his sister's contact. And I look at the message between him and his sister. And I'm like, baby, that ain't your sister's number. Did you just make this up? He's like, no, why would I do that? I was like, because you want your girl back. So then I try to manipulate the manipulator. And I tell him, like, baby, like, if you tell me the truth, like, oh, I put too much bronzer. I tell him, if you tell me the truth, like, I'll think about getting back together with you. Because that means that you actually changed. Because you've never told me the truth. Tell me the truth. Like, do you make these messages up? He says, yeah. I said, get out of my house. You really thought I was going to get back together with you? Get the heck out of my house. Bro, and then later on in life, I find out that after Hunk found out that his ex-girlfriend said that about him, he had logged in to her Instagram O sea, literally the day before Chuchi's admitted the lie. Hunk had logged into his ex-girlfriend's Instagram and posted messages of her being like, you imagine you going into somebody's Instagram story and in the story it's just themselves posting messages of them being cause something about Hunk is a sassy king. After that comes the next day and Hunk takes me out to eat. After that restaurant, he takes me to this little club. When we go in the club, babe, he gets escorted in with the security. And then they take us upstairs to this other level where there was nobody. It was just me and him. And I'm just like, he got money. After a while, my face expression changed because I was bored. Like, we were the only ones up here. And he told me, like, nah, you want to leave? You want to leave? And I'm just like, nah, I'm just bored. Bro, he didn't even let me finish saying, like, nah, I'm just bored. Right there, he asked for the check and he said, we're leaving. We leave and he takes me to another club. And we in VIP in the other club. And I'm there like calculating like how much money this man is spending on me. He thinks that I get a little bored in that club. So then he decides to take me to another club. And we in VIP there. The thing is that in that club, mad people from our hood saw us. And remember, we only got like 4 days talking to each other. So people already started like taking pictures on some, what the heck? She broke up with Chuchi that she's dating this guy now? By that time, I'm like, baby, I don't care. This is my man. Let the whole world know. The club ends up closing and Hunk is on some like, I don't want to take you home. It's like 4 a.m. And I'm like, I don't want to go home. He's like, you want to go to the beach? I said, yeah. And I said, but I don't have a bathing suit. And he told me, like, we can't go to your house to get you a bathing suit. And I was like, nah. My dad is super strict. My dad right now thinks that I'm sleeping over my friend's house. So then we go to my cousin's house and my cousin lets me a bathing suit. We get to the beach at like 4:40 in the morning. Mind you, me and this man still haven't even kissed. Me and this man still haven't even really done anything crazy. Bro, it starts raining like crazy. So we couldn't go back home. So he gets us a cabana. Babes, I really thought he was gonna try to do something in the cabana. No, this man went in the corner and fell asleep. Bro, y'all see why I fell in love? I wake up the next day and it's super late. My dad already been waiting for me to get home. We then get to my hood. I tell Hung to drop me off 2 blocks before my house, just in case. He drops me off there and I run to my house. I get upstairs and I see my dad looking out through our kitchen window. Our kitchen window is huge. And I say, Sompa, and go run into my room. I'm in my room and I'm like, ooh, safe. He didn't tell me nothing. I then hear my dad on the phone yelling, say like, I didn't know my daughter was I just seen her coming out of this guy's car. Stay tuned for part 4 because things just get crazier.
Oh my god. I can't breathe. Story time on how I did the do at school. This is a no judgment zone. Like, do not come in my like if you don't know what my page is about by now, you're gonna have to just scroll and come back when you're ready. So it was this dude, and it was my first love. This was my very first love, y'all. You'll be like, how many first loves you got? I only had 2. This was my first love. He also took my V card, right? And he just had me like so hypnotized. Like, I did anything for him to do, anything he told me to do, anything he wanted me to do. I cut everybody off. You can ask anybody that went to school with me. I didn't talk to nobody. I didn't have friends. I wasn't allowed to have friends. Like, I literally made a list of rules that he had for me. He was really strict. He did not play that. And whatever he wanted his program to be, I just went with it. I shut up and I did what he wanted me to do. That is crazy, but it's the truth. And I was at this like little school event or whatever that he was having at his school, and of course he could bring people, so like I was at this little event or whatever, and while we're waiting we had to go to like an auditorium because I don't really remember exactly why. I just remember we had to go in there before like the event started, and it wasn't nobody in there but me, him, and like his homeboys type shit. Like, it wasn't really many people in there, so we like basically all the way in the back of the auditorium, his homeboys like down there type shit. And I don't really know, I guess he told them like, yo, I'm trying to blah 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 blah, so maybe he told them to leave. I don't really know, but they left, so that's what I'm kind of just thinking. And he told me, he was like, yeah, like we should do this, and I'm telling him like, no, like that's too far, like it's cameras, it's all types of shit, like that's just anything happen, like that's too far. But then again, I was like, well, it's not my school, so if I did get caught, and then the school that he went to wasn't even in my district, like it was bad for us. So I'm kind of like, So we had to book it anyway, because like for the event, it was like I don't know what it was, but it was like something going on for like that whole week. It was like movie night, like arcade, like it was just a whole bunch going on, and that was movie night, so we had blankets and stuff. But they were like, oh, just act like we're like laying side by side, like don't sit on me because that's too suspicious, but like they would like sit side by side, like shit, blah 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 blah. This is like what we did. I sat by him. We kind of played it off, like we put the wicked on that side, and like I'm trying to like take a nap type shit, and I was like laying down and I had my iPad on, like watching stuff, like playing it off, you know, just in case it was cameras and stuff, like if they look at it, it's not too bad. And I turned to the side and that was that. And I know y'all be like, oh my gosh, you're such a warrior. Guys, back then I wasn't even a whore for real. Like I guess if you want to call that being a whore, but like I don't know, I was in love.
was like, I don't know. And then if I said no, he probably was gonna beat the shit out of me. So I was like, okay, thanks for the story time.
Not to be dramatic, but if I dropped dead tomorrow and woke up in hell, it would probably take me 2 to 3 full days to realize that I was not just in another HR-backed team building workshop with my coworkers.
Part 1 on when I found out he was cheating on me in the bedroom right next to our bedroom. I had a little boyfriend. His name is Choo-Cheese. If you know, you know. He lived in Dominican Republic and I lived in New York. While I was in New York, I was a real toxic little girl. And I had the passwords to his Facebooks, Instagram, to his iCloud, babe. I even had his location. And that's how I learned that if a man's gonna cheat, he's gonna cheat because, babe, I had his location. One day I log into his Facebook and I look at his most recently searched. Why his most recently searched was this girl from our hood in DR. Let's call her Lucy. She was way younger than me and him. So I'm like, why are you searching up this little girl on Facebook, weirdo? And he was like, oh, because she has shared something that I wanted to repost to my Facebook. That sounded believable. So I was like, all right, no problem. Months and months pass. I logged back into his Facebook. This man was looking for this girl again. And I'm like, all right, now you need explanations because what, bro, again? He hits it with the same excuse. But that already planted a seed in my head. I go to the Dominican Republic. While I'm in DR, he had this friend that had like this little trap house. While I'm in that little trap house, I'm there with Choo-Cheese, 2 of his friends, and like in the far end corner of the hallway, there was like these 2 young girls and like these 3 older men. And they was out here smoking and dunking. One of the girls there was Lucy. I tell Choo-Cheese like, oh my God, look, that's that girl that always be DMing me. Because something about Lucy, she was always DMing me, talking about I admire you so much. And she would send me these long ass essays. Mind you, I've never spoken to this girl in my life. But she would just go off the things I'll post like on Instagram. If a girl that you don't really talk to is out here sending you essays, telling you that I admire you, I want to be you, blah, blah. Yeah, they want to be you so bad that they want your man. Choo-Cheese then tells me, oh nah, that girl's a weirdo. Like, don't even become her friend because she, her mom, her sister, they're known as the town. Like, couple weeks pass and it's New Year's. For New Year's, there was like a family party in my family's house. And my family's house, it was 3 floors. For some reason, I got mad at Choo-Cheese and decided to go to the 2nd floor. From the 2nd floor, you can see outside because it had like a big open balcony. So while I'm there alone on the 2nd floor, I see that Lucy passes by. I don't think nothing of it until I see her looking up to the 3rd floor. I'm like, what could she be looking at in that 3rd floor? I look up to the 3rd floor and it's Choo-Cheese, thinking that I don't see him. He blew Lucy a kiss. I literally yelled, I was like, Choo-Cheese, I clocked that. I clocked it. He literally looked at me like, whoop. And then Lucy literally just like sped walk away. I then go upstairs and I told him like, what was that about? And he was like, what was what about? You know, Dominican men, the best gaslighters. I was like, that kiss, I saw that kiss. What do you mean what was that about? And he was like, nah, you're bugging. Like, you're seeing stuff. Like, are you serious? Why would I even blow that little girl a kiss? And I was like, that's what I want to know. Why would you blow her a kiss? We didn't get to no resolution because he denied it. So much so that I was like, all right, bet, I'm going home. Me and him live together. So I go home and he comes in back of me. When we get home, we both fall asleep. I wake up like at 9 in the morning and I see that Choo-Cheese is not there. So I get up to go outside. But where we lived was literally in the backyard of his family's house. What we had was like a bedroom and a living room. But we had to go outside like through the backyard to go like to the bathroom and the kitchen. So I get up to go outside. And when I try to go out through the door, I see that the door is locked. So I call Choo-Cheese. And Choo-Cheese doesn't reply. Then I wait a couple minutes and he's still not replying. So then I text him, I'm like, yo, I need to use the bathroom. Where you at? Still doesn't reply. The thing is, this door, if you lock it from outside, you need a key to unlock it from the inside. He didn't leave me no key. So after like a good 30 minutes of me trying to figure out what the heck to do, I'm already thinking like, oh nah, he's doing some weird sus thing. And I gotta use the bathroom. So I take his shoe, I squat down, and I do number 1 in his shoe. Because where else am I gonna pee? An hour passes by and I'm losing my mind. So then I get a scissor and I start cutting all his clothes. 2 hours pass by. Babes, I'm already panicking by this point. I'm literally screaming and screaming. His grandma came trying to help me out. And I'm just like, what? So nobody knows where this man is? Like, yeah, that ass, nobody knows where this man is? Turns out his whole family knew where this man was. That was all covering up for him. After like 4 or 5 hours, Choo-Cheese priest comes and unlocks the door for me. And he was like, sorry, I fell asleep. I was in the bedroom in the front. And I was like, you were in the bedroom in the front, but you didn't hear me yelling. We dropped it there and I just said, all right, this is another seed that was planted in my head. Couple weeks passed since that instant and his cousin had came from Las Vegas. This cousin is from his mom's side and Chuchi's mom lives 3 hours away from us. So he told me like, I'm gonna go visit my mom if you want to come with me. And I was like, nah, I don't want to go over there. Like, I'll just stay with my dad here. He goes, babe, that first night that he left, like at 2, 3 in the morning, I got this thought like, girl, hit up Lucy and act like you're Chuchi's to see if he's cheated on you with her. Cause I've never found out anything about him cheating on me. And we had 4 years together. But in my head, I'm like, let's hit her up. Even though she's probably gonna be like, girl, you crazy. I log into his Instagram. I DM her through Instagram from Chuchi's Instagram and tell her they found out about us. I see that she reads the message real quick. And I'm there smiling, thinking she's gonna be like, haha, babes, what the heck you talking about? She replies and says, how did they find out? Stay tuned for the next part because I take Lucy to Chuchi's mom's house and confront him in front of his whole family.
I'm sorry, but why the f are we taking taxes out of the paychecks of 15 to 17-year-olds when they are not allowed to vote? Is that not the definition of taxation without representation?
Hey bitch. This is all the other fucked up shit I used to do in high school that I had recently remembered. So as you now know, I used to drink spicy water in high school when I wasn't supposed to, allegedly. And my mom had caught me. She already knew that, right? How did she know that, you ask? One time she went to go to my closet to find a shirt because we were the same size and she was going out this time. She was like, you know, in her party girl era. So was I, but she didn't know that. And she went to go look for a shirt and she kicked my purse and it went ka-clink. She did find a bottle of Smirnoff. Yes, she did. So then it kind of became routine for her to just like go through my shit because I couldn't be trusted. Period. But what does a crazy mom make? A crazier child. Yes, ma'am. I got smarter. So I would be getting these bottles of spicy water and I couldn't keep them in my house because my mom would go through everything. She would think 10 steps ahead. So I had to outdo the doer. I don't know if I mentioned this, but this is all alleged. Rah! Sorry, I couldn't come back with just this on and not give you a little jump scare. So whatever, I had to outsmart her, right? So what I started to do was I started to take my bottles of spicy water and I had a vanity that was like wooden. It was technically like a reading desk, but it had like a lip on the front and there was only one drawer on this vanity. I made it a vanity. This is how crazy I was. I used to take my bottles of spicy water and duct tape them underneath the table, like triple, quadruple, like exit out, duct tape them underneath the table. And you know what? That was a good hiding spot for a hot minute. Can I get a round of applause for the fucking creativity over here? Cause damn, I had to keep that to myself. And that was a good ass hiding spot, bitch. You know those things where they're like, if you had to hide a paperclip? Baby, you're not finding my paperclip. Anyways, that was a good idea until one night I was sleeping and the tape had come off a little bit and loud as fuck at like 3 in the morning, it was like BAM! So then I had to come up with a new hiding spot. So as the week is progressing, I'm looking for a new hiding spot. I also had no more spicy water, so I was like fiending. I'm like looking around. Now my mom did keep spicy water in the house, but she wasn't no dummy, let me tell you that. She took a permanent marker and would mark on the bottle like where the liquid was, so that like if we did take some, she would know. Now I have 3 brothers, okay? And I'm not gonna tell you which one, but one of my brothers witnessed me do something. And I'm gonna tell you what I did, okay? Hold on a second. My mom had this plastic like handle of Captain Morgan. And what I would do is I would take some, pour it in a water bottle. Allegedly. And then I would fill it up with water. But a bitch isn't stupid, right? I knew I could only take so much before the color would start looking a little too light. Because, you know, Captain Morgan is a little bit dark. So I only took as much as I possibly could where the line was to keep the same color if I poured water. You get what I'm saying? You see, I knew that. But my one brother that witnessed me do that did not think of that. So just keep that in mind. Whatever, all during this week, I'm looking for a new hiding spot, right? And boom, it hits me when I'm leaving the house one day. I'm like, oh my goodness, I should just hide it outside, the spicy water bottle. I should just hide it outside in the bushes because it's like reverse psychology. She's always gonna think it's in the house. She'll never think it's outside the house. Like, oh my goodness. Oh my God, I'm so fucking smart. And then I'm like, then I don't ever have to sneak it out because it's already outside. I'm like, then when I say I'm leaving, I'll just go to my secret hiding spot, take it, and then I'm good to go. I like kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Like I could, you know what I mean? Because half the battle was trying to get the bottle outside to begin with. If I brought a bag downstairs, I'm gonna be like, let me see what's in your bag. So whatever, boom, I hide the bottle. I start hiding the bottles outside. Summer's starting to roll around. It's getting hot outside. Remember that Captain Morgan bottle, the plastic handle I was telling you about? My mom had it set on top of a wine cellar thing, okay, a wine holder. One day I'm walking down in the kitchen. I look around and look at the fucking Captain Morgan bottle. Why is there condensation in the fucking bottle? Now, I don't know about you, but do you know science? There can never be condensation in a liquor bottle. There can't, because there's no water in the fucking bottle. So I see this and I'm like, oh my God. And then boom, it hits me. My brother had seen me do that and he probably took some. I'm like, oh my goodness, this fuck is gonna blow my fucking cover. So I grabbed him and I'm like, hey, I have a quick question for you. He's like, what? What's up? I'm like, have you been taking liquor, spicy water out of mom's Captain over there? He's like, why is it any of your business? You know, brothers, like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, well, if you have been, just so you know, it's the wrong color. And not only is it the wrong color, you fuck, there's condensation at the top, which means that there's water in there. And there shouldn't have been any water in there. Do you understand what I'm fucking saying to you? There was no fixing it at this point in time. I mean, realistically, could we have gone, or because I knew people, could I have gone and gotten a replacement of spicy water and poured some in there to make it level? Yeah, but a bitch is broke, okay? I'm in high school. I don't got money like that. And fuck I look like spending my money on his mistake. You know what I mean? So then it became a game to us. Every time one of us walked past the bottle in the kitchen, sometimes my mom would be cooking and we would be like, and put it back. Thank God that wasn't like her spicy water of choice, so she never really noticed. However, remember how I told you the bushes were my outside hiding area? I started to become like a forager and just keep anything that I would want / need out there that I didn't have to hide. Like, you know what I mean? So I started to create a pile of things. A lighter, a knife for protection, some scissors in case I needed to open something, my spicy water bottle, you name it, it was there. But I had them scattered throughout the front yard. Boom, summer comes around. I had forgotten about all of that. My mom comes inside the house and she goes, oh my God, guys, you'll never believe what I found in the front bushes. I'm like, dumbass, okay? I go, what? She goes, I found one of our steak knives. I found one of our steak knives in the bushes, like stabbed into the ground. And it's from our house. Like, it's our steak knives. I'm sitting there like, oh, really? She's like, yeah, like, that's really scary. I'm gonna have to tell my stepdad. What if somebody's breaking and entering? She came up with this whole theory. Oh my goodness. The whole time it was me. Whole time it was me.
You're quiet. Yeah. I'm trying to gauge how awkward and myself I can be in this new social situation. So I will be quiet until then. And then once I figure it out, you'll probably wish that I would go back to being quiet.
I just got booked by a literal crackhead here in Adelaide. This is going to be a long one, so make sure you're comfortable for it. I still look a mess. I haven't even freshened up since the booking, but I need to tell you guys this while it is fresh in my mind. For a bit of context, this guy was an absolute nightmare through the booking process. He was not easy to deal with. He kept changing dates, times. He even paid his deposit 10 minutes into when we're meant to start our 30-minute booking. But let's get into the good part. He actually gets here. I go down to get him and we are in the lift coming back up to my floor. And this guy is like tweaking. He will not stop twitching. At first I'm like, is that ADHD? No, it's definitely too extreme for ADHD. And I thought maybe this guy has some other sort of disability. Let's not judge him. You've said 2 words to him. Get into the room and see what he's like. We get in here. The second he walks in the door, he handed me the cash straight away. That was the first thing he did, was pull it out. So that was kind of a good sign. He is still twitching a lot. So I'm trying to suss out, I'm like, is this guy on drugs? Or is this some sort of disability of some sort? I'm trying not to jump to conclusions and I'm trying to have a conversation with him so I can gauge what on earth is going on. I quickly realized that what this guy is saying isn't making sense. He's not continuing on a conversation. Sometimes he is, but other times he's just saying stuff that makes absolutely no sense with what we're talking about. And I think that's when it clicked for me. I'm like, oh God, what is this guy on? But he's in my room now and he's paid me and he hasn't actually done anything wrong yet. So I'm like, let's just get this shit done. Let's fucking get this guy in and out. So I send him into the shower. While he's in the shower, I messaged a couple of my friends being like, yeah, I've got a crackhead. Check in with me at this time. Like, somebody make sure I'm okay. We we start the booking and it's very apparent that he is on something because Mr. Johnson is not cooperating, and that is a common occurrence when these people are on substances like this. I did quite quickly have the realization that that may become an issue if he was to get angry that he could not complete, especially with something as short as a 30-minute when he's downstairs was not cooperating. That was like one of the first things that kind of locked in my mind, and I'm like, okay, you're gonna need to start thinking about what you're going to say when this guy cannot finish, because you're gonna need to diffuse. We're doing things and he is just jumping from like one position to another. He's doing something for a few seconds and then he wants to do something else. It is chaotic. It is just all over the place. At one point he gets down so that my kitty cat is open and he is talking to my kitty cat like it is a human. He full on had a conversation with my kitty cat for at least 5 minutes straight. And I even intervened and I said, babe, you're not going to have enough time if you keep doing that. Like, you're not going to get to finish if you keep talking to that kitty cat down there. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. He was talking to it about aliens. I don't fucking know what was going on. Like, he was asking it if it knew aliens. He was asking it why it looked like that. Then he looked up at me and asked me if I'd had surgery on it. Then he full on started having a conversation with it like it was a person. Like it was a person. No, he wasn't doing anything else to it. He was literally right in front of it, talking to it. It was the most bizarre thing I have ever experienced in my career. Now, obviously, because he spent so long down there, and before that he was jumping between things and Mr. Johnson wasn't working, he was nowhere near finishing. Buzzer goes off. Mr. Johnson has not been firm at any point, and he has spent half of his booking talking to my kitty cat. Now, I know that I'm likely going to be in trouble in this situation because this guy is clearly not okay. He's clearly on something. They have a shorter fuse, and he hasn't really got what he paid for, even though I have tried to redirect many, many, many times. And I can see in his face that he's a little frustrated. So I redirect. I start talking about how I'm very excited for him to come back tomorrow. Only thing I know how to do. I'm like very casually, you know, like, oh yeah, Mr. Johnson didn't want to cooperate today, but maybe he'll want to cooperate tomorrow. Do you want to see me again tomorrow? I just went into that element because I'm like, I do not know what else to do right now. This guy like completely, fully believed me. He fully thought he was going to get to do another session. I absolutely will not be seeing him again. That seems to satisfy him. He gets in the shower. He is like 2 or 3 minutes overtime while he's in the shower. And then when he gets out, he starts talking to me at the door about how he's going to fly to Brisbane in his UFO and he's going to roll out a red carpet for me and my kitty cat. It was honestly the most bizarre thing I've ever heard in my life. And this man was like dead serious while he's telling me he's going to fly in his UFO to Brisbane and roll out a red carpet for me and my kitty cat. What the fuck? Guys, he left, okay, and he has messaged since asking if I can send him a photo of a haircut, which I have no idea what he's talking about. I don't know, but thank God it is my last day here, because what the F? And guys, this is just the reality of this job. It is not always glamorous. Sometimes you can't particularly tell that someone is going to be like that before they get here. This industry is not always designer bags and big stacks of cash. You are genuinely putting your life on the line sometimes. I'm very grateful that I managed to diffuse that. I don't know how I freaking did that. I don't know. But let's just hope the rest of my touring, when I hit Sydney, I don't have any of those, because I'm not in the mood to deal with any more crackheads.
82% of CIA agents are men, which is crazy to me because one time I used a guy's public Venmo transaction history and his Twitter likes to figure out that he was also seeing a girl across the country. And I just don't believe a man could do that.
Okay, get ready because this update is absolutely insane. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go watch my last video. But in short, my boyfriend stole my money to buy his girl best friend attire. I was attempting to have a peaceful morning. Because at about 8:30 a.m., there is a very aggressive banging on my front door. And I just knew it. I could feel it in my bones what was about to happen. So when I opened my door, I expected to see my boyfriend angrily storm in. But what I did not expect was to see that his little girl best friend was following in right behind him. And they just make themselves at home, walk right in, and just plop themselves down on the couch. Like, I'm sorry, what? No warning. Could have given me like a little heads up, a little call, nothing. And he is just sitting there looking at me, not saying anything. So finally I'm like, okay, so what are you doing here? And he goes, I wanted to give you the opportunity to apologize to both of us. I was like, okay, hold up, rewind the track, because I must be living in some kind of fever dream if you just told me that I should be apologizing to both of you. And I was sitting there looking like the blinking man meme, like, and he just continued. He was like, the way that you handled this situation, I just thought reflected really poorly on your character, because you should want to help out someone that means so much to me. And I was like, hold up. What do you mean? You stole my money. Like, that's what happened here. It's not like you came to me, was like, hey, can I borrow some money to like help her out? Like, you just took the money and then didn't say anything about it until I noticed it was missing. And what was even worse is Girly is sitting on the couch like, like, why are you here? Why? And I actually said that. I was like, okay, also, why are you here? I can't. Anything I think, it just comes right out of my mouth. I was like, what are you doing here? And he was like, don't speak to her like that. Speak to her in my home. I wasn't even being rude. I was just curious, like, why is she here? But also I realized that this was the perfect opportunity to get my questions answered. The biggest one being, where is the rest of my money? Because if you bought her one tire, the math ain't mathing, because there should have been a lot left over. And that's when she pipes in, because he's looking nervous. He doesn't really say anything. And she's like, well, like, we didn't want all the tires to be worn differently, so it just made sense to buy me a whole new set. I swear, I could literally feel my eyes starting to twitch. I was like, a whole new set? A whole new set? Like, the fact that I kept my cool and did not, like, actually combust into flames whenever I was told this is very impressive. So I literally say, oh, a whole set? Wow. What a generous guy. What a generous guy. I'm so lucky, and I feel like I've been so lucky for the time that I've been his girlfriend. And I think that it's unfair for me to continue to take all of his time and take away the opportunity from other women who could have the opportunity to date such an amazing man. So I'm gonna let him go for the benefit of others. And he's like, you're kidding, right? And I was like, absolutely not. Get your stuff and get out of my apartment. So he is huffing and puffing while starting to gather his things that were at my apartment. And his little best friend is behind him, like, it's okay, like, she never deserved you. You could do so much better, like, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm just sitting on the couch drinking my latte, like, good riddance. Like, I hope I never hear from either of you again. But I knew what was coming next. You see, there was just no way that I was gonna let this crusty, musty man steal from me. So, not only did I go and sell his Xbox, but that actually didn't make up all the money he took. So I went into the closet and saw the brand new pair of Air Jordans that his best girlfriend had got him for his birthday. And I had absolutely no problem taking those and just selling them. So eventually, he realized that these things were missing and came to the living room and said, hey, like, where are my shoes? Where's my Xbox? And I said, I sold them. And his face turned bright red, literally like a fire truck. He's like, you can't do that, like screaming. You can't do that. You can't just like sell my things. I was like, I'm sorry. I thought there was a rule in this household that we could just take what isn't ours. I didn't realize that. I mean, you did it. I'm so sorry. Wow. I just thought we could just take whatever we wanted in here. And he just continues to yell, and his little girlfriend is like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you. Like, that was a birthday gift. And I'm just standing there like, and then I tell him, actually, you still owe me like $40, but I'll call it even if you never speak to me again. And he did not like this one either. Continues yelling. Eventually,
his little girlfriend's like, let's just go. Like, she's not even worth it. And he's screaming like, this isn't over. This isn't over. And I'm like, babe, this is so over. So as of now, that's where it stands. But if, he does anything else super crazy, I'll let y'all know.